make sure the stream is running properly. And yes, it is. Now to get this shared out. And yes, it is. Now to get this. And Head DJ the God, how's it going? Okay, so now we continue our quest through Ultimate Mode. Hoping to complete this tonight. With the exception of the last part of Zangetsu Only, it's been a blast playing this on stream. In case anyone eagle-eyed is watching and the points don't add up from the last time you see from the previous playthrough, I tried something about going back a level. I wanted to see if once I unlock a character, if they can continue with me to a previous level, but they can't. But nonetheless, we carry on, and hopefully tonight, and I see no reason why it shouldn't be, will be the end of it. Rule number 1, don't get sloppy. Come on. Please do. Yes. Definitely want my favorite weapon accessible for this. Because I'm a new sub and thought Well, thank you for subbing. Glad you can join even if that double jump keeps messing me up. Glad you can join even if, as you can see, this isn't always the place for stellar gameplay. Which DK stream was it? I'm also still trying to get the hang of actually playing a game on stream. It's, in so many ways, it's a whole different animal from just playing the game by itself. Come on, Miriam. That was a good stream. I'm the only sub all owned. I'm banning DJ. Yeah, that Peter Anthony one was a fun stream. I'm excited for the stuff they got coming up with the other fan films. The more I think about it, Roseblood is probably my favorite of all the Friday the 13th fan films. How's your day going, YYTT? And from here on out, Ultimate Mode gets harder. Yeah, Jason Rising was pretty good too. I'll be sure to check that one out. I'm actually in the minority that likes Halloween Resurrection. Yeah, the movie's a complete mess and has its problems, but if it ain't entertaining... I got a soft spot for it too. I was in high school when it came out, and it wasn't exactly the best time. Me and my mom were kind of living at a place in between having a actual official place, and like I was worried, was I gonna be homeless going into the next school year? So it was nice just to go see that movie and forget about my problems for a little while. Oh, that sounds cool. Cool, that'd be interesting to see. There have been some pretty good fan edits out. Oh, Halloween 6, my preferred version, is the fan cut known as the Blue Myers cut. That yearbook photo feels like 100 years ago. The Blue Myers cut is... it's a good hybrid cut. You get some of the better stuff from the producer's cut, but you don't have the whole thing with who's the father, and it has the theatrical ending, so no Michael getting defeated by stones. If I get good enough at editing, there's a fan cut I wouldn't mind doing. And in principle, it shouldn't be too hard, because I'd just be swapping some ending scenes out. I want to do a fan cut of The Return of Godzilla, which is basically going to be the full Japanese cut, but I'm going to incorporate the final shots from the American re-edit Godzilla 19... or should I say I want to, because the American re-edit Godzilla 1985 actually does a few things better. For one, when Godzilla falls into the volcano in that version, he lets out this just absolute blood-curdling scream. And Raymond Burr's closing monologue is just a thing of genius, so I'd also like to have that in the film. It's my favorite too, DJ. Yeah, I realized that when I shared the picture. I was actually talking to some old friends from high school, and it started because I brought up this guy, Jeff Phillips, who, well, there's a funny story about him, but they didn't remember, and he was someone always in trouble, so I showed them his yearbook photo. Then they wanted to see theirs and mine. The Jeff Phillips guy, funny story, we found out he got arrested a few years back for communicating a threat. He actually threatened to kill someone, and while he was in the jail, he started climbing the ceiling to get to the roof, so they hit him with an escape charge. The quote ended with, "I will trust myself to succeed," by the way, YYTT. Yeah, Burr was amazing in that cut, even if it is the inferior version of the film, and as many people like to look down on the 1958 Godzilla King of the Monsters now, I would argue that that edit is actually the most important Godzilla movie, because the cut with Raymond Burr introduced Godzilla to the rest of the world. So there's a legit argument to be made that if it wasn't for the Raymond Burr cut of the original, we wouldn't have Godzilla. Honestly, I really don't care for 2000, but if I had to watch a version, I would go with the American cut. And even the director apparently had stated that he thinks that the American re-edit of Godzilla 2000 is the better version of the movie. Which version do you prefer? I can't wait for the new Toho movie that's in development. It's weird to think we have Legendary and Toho currently making Godzilla movies independent from one another. The American cut is just a smoother running version of the film. Yeah, I hope it does too. I like Shin Godzilla, but I hope the next movie is something a little more, a little less experimental. That movie was really such a criticism of the Japanese political system that it's just understandably so gonna go through over a lot of people's heads. Although there is something to be said about government not being able to deal with a more unprecedented disaster. Like in 2005, I think it was, with Hurricane Katrina, and how FEMA got a lot of criticism for dropping the ball with how they handled that, which some of it was rightly earned, but at the same time, no one was expecting the storm to be that bad and do damage under that wide of a region, so yeah. A Final Wars sequel would actually be cool. I didn't see the Zero Day. I saw that Gigan short. What do you think would be like a good premise for a sequel to Final Wars? begging the monster Toho just doesn't seem to want to do anything with. I actually think Baggin would be cool to use if they ever did a Godzilla in Gamera movie. Like, he could be the threat that brings them together. I wonder who the enemy's gonna be in Godzilla and Kong. Come on. Yeah, that two-headed dragon boss is usually, for my money, one of the easier bosses in the game. I'm kind of hoping it is a legendary original, but I hope they come up with something really creative. Ugh. Did not mean to do that. I found Final Wars like a interesting movie. There's aspects I like, but I feel it's a little too long for its own good. And there were just so many kaiju in it. The quality of the suits really suffered, and some of them just looked really cheap. Talking to you, Rodan. Because that was a thing that kind of like bothered me as a whole with the Millennium series, is all their redesigns of classic kaiju. None of them, with the exception of maybe GMK Mothra, were really an improvement. I loved Kaiser Ghidorah, but he's less of a redesign and more his own thing. Actually, I'll agree with that. 03 Mothra was a perfect update of the original suit. GMK Ghidorah, on the other hand, was just too goofy looking for my taste. Another movie I like with a few caveats. Like, there was kind of an anti-climax to it at times, like... And yeah, I get Ghidorah wasn't fully grown, and if he was, he would have had even more heads, but it was anticlimactic that when he finally got his gravity beams, all they did was supercharge Godzilla's heat ray. And yeah, making him, like, that was a head-scratcher. Personally, I would have liked to have seen the original concept with Baragon, Varan, and Anguirus. He was practically a slasher villain in that movie, which is one thing I'll give it. Like, Godzilla was just downright sadistic in that movie. The whole Millennium series is kind of weird like that, where it's like, every time one of the Tokyo SOS and Against Mechagodzilla notwithstanding, it's like there's something holding the films back from being as good as they could be. Even though I admittedly do thoroughly love Godzilla vs. Mechaguirus, flaws and all, I love the fact that they have a fully flushed out alternate timeline for that movie. Yeah, and then the post-credit scene for Godzilla against Mechagodzilla, which kind of implied Ghost Godzilla. Yeah, that was like a whole cool concept. Again, it was The Millennium series' biggest weakness is that they were anthology. It was an anthology series. If they were all connected like the Heisei films, it could have been the. It could have rivaled the Heisei series. But listen, I like the Millennium series is just such an oddity. I'm glad now that we have Legendary and Toho at it again that Godzilla didn't at least end on the Millennium series, because that would have been such like a lackluster note to end the franchise on. Even like the Absolute Zero system was a cool idea. Which again, you at least have to give the Millennium series points for creativity, because they were always trying to do something new. Even making Ghidorah a good guy as bad of an idea as I think that was, at least they tried something different, even if they probably that was definitely too different. I wish Legendary would get the rights to, like, spin off some of the other kaiju. Like, I know he's listed as defeated and probably confirmed dead, but I'd like to see, like, Rodan get his own movie and fight Mechaguirus, which would be cool to tie it into the first Rodan, because he ate the Mechaguirus larva. I agree, but I don't see that ever happening. But at least we're getting something new, Gamera, with that new Netflix or whatever it was that was announced. Boy, that teaser trailer concept from several years back now, that was like the biggest wasted potential. That looked like it could have been the greatest Gamera movie ever, but the fact that it was only meant to be like a concept to celebrate his anniversary, and talk about just a grade AAA tease. Okay, that was stupid of me. And speaking of Gamera, I kind of wondered sometimes Godzilla Singular Point, if that was almost initially meant to be a rejected Gamera project, because the way Rodan is in Singular Point, you could change the name to Gauss and it wouldn't change a thing. YYTT. With Singular Point, I didn't hate it, and it was definitely better than the Monster Planet movies, but I just feel like was a huge missed opportunity. It was like every time Singular Point started doing something interesting, it would cut away to something boring. And the way it just kind of abruptly ended, or at least the way the final battle abruptly ended, left a bad taste in my mouth. My favorite Godzilla film is The Return of Godzilla, also known as Godzilla 1984 or Godzilla 1985, which is the title of the American re-edit. Yeah, I don't ever see myself revisiting Singular Point. I have the X Plus figure for the 1984/5 Godzilla. In further context, YYT, it came out in 1984, but the American re-edit, which is the version most people know it by, came out in 85. I'd also like to see Batra return. It's kind of a shame they never used him in the Rebirth of Mothra trilogy. which until the legendary King Ghidorah, Grand King Ghidorah from Rebirth 3 was my favorite Ghidorah. Yeah, Gigamoth sounded interesting. I'm glad we got Batra, but I'd like to have seen what Gigamoth would have been like. That's like before the Heisei Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah, they were planning to do another Godzilla vs. Kong in the 90s, and that fell through. Yeah, that would have been interesting, which is another disappointment with them not following up on Tokyo SOS, because it perfectly set the stage for Ghost Godzilla. Ghost Godzilla was a concept where the spirit of the original 1954 Godzilla would more or less possess Godzilla's son from the Heisei series, and he would have to fight his son. But I do kind of get, and I do agree with the director why what the original Ghost Godzilla was scrapped. We had just had Mechagodzilla and Space Godzilla, so for him to have 3 movies where he fought Godzilla-type enemies would have been a little redundant. Unknown. I've forgotten how spongy the enemies are. His son basically hatched out of an egg they found on this island in Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla 2. And a lot of people still don't get the title of Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla 2 in that movie. It's not the second Godzilla. It talked about them building the Garuda and that a second, more powerful robot would be needed. which was Mechagodzilla. In fact, they even refer to Garuda as the Garuda one in the movie, which, by extension, Mechagodzilla would be Mechagodzilla 2. Yeah, Godzilla's son, an egg usually comes out of nowhere. With the exception of Final Wars, where his son just came out of nowhere. I actually have a Haruo Nakajima's autograph verified, and it's a verified signature too, so there's no it was a scam. I ordered it online and I actually got it like 4 or 5 months before he passed away. Yeah, and then this year we lost Akira Takarada. Which Takarada I actually did a nice tribute to on my channel. Nakajima played Godzilla from 1954 to 74. 5. Akira Takarada never played Godzilla, but he was in a lot of the films, and he was Godzilla's first co-star, so to speak. Which, on the subject, here's a video I did in honor of Akira Takarada. Ultimate mode like Gremory is a nightmare. And Ultimate mode has been beaten. Not bad, it usually takes me a couple tries to beat her. This is my first complete playthrough. Pretty good. I know it's been a little repetitive, especially because with the exception of Nightmare Mode, it was 3 playthroughs of the same level. Well, even Nightmare Mode, with the exception of the last level, it was the same stages over and over. But with that, I'll probably revisit this game around Halloween time as a Montober Let's Play, but this has been a blast. And this is now my 3rd playthrough beating everything. Maybe I'll get Ritual of the Night, the Symphony of the Night styled one and play through that. I love this music in the credits. Yeah, thanks for joining YYTTDJ. Fun to have you guys by. And next, well, I'm getting Spider-Man for Christmas. I might stream that, I might not. I have Firewatch, what I want to do, but in January, I plan on getting Untitled Goose Game, and I still have to finish Shadow of Colossus. So like, share, comment, subscribe, over and out.